Well, hi YouTubers. Okay, I'm back with another Physics 100 books, and this is Blood for Blood by Graudin, the sequel to Wolf by Wolf, which is a previous Physics 100 video. And let me just read the blurb on the back, okay? The war is over, but the fight has just begun. For the resistance in post-war Germany, blood must be paid with blood. For 17-year-old Zhao and unlikely comrades, there is no alternative but to see their mission through to the end, whatever the cost. By dark secrets reveal dark truths, and one question hangs over them all. How far can you go for the ones you love? Right, so slightly spoilerific territory here for Wolf by Wolf, the original book of the series. But Zhao, by the age of 6, being experimented on in the camps. She is of Jewish heritage. She gains the ability to shapeshift. She can morph her body, manipulate her body. Yeah, okay, so now with this, she knocks out Adele, takes her place in this race, and doesn't actually win, but she managed to get invited along as a guest of Luca, who does win. And then she kills Hitler, and it's not Hitler, he's also a skin shifter. So now Adele has, Zhao has to find the real Hitler to kill him. And on this journey, she's joined with Luca, who was the winner of the race and kind of holds her in very high regard. Fell in love with her as Adele, but also fell in love with her now as Zhao. And also Felix, who is the brother of Adele, who was the one who was kidnapped that Zhao replaced. Hope you all got that, okay? The thing is, there is this. Now, the original Wolf by Wolf, the first of the series, that was more like a framing device. It was like, with this journey, you kind of got for exposition, and from Zhao describing the world around him and other kind of like expository characters, you got to kind of see the world that if Hitler did win the war, if the Nazis won the war, how the world turned out. Okay. With this, it's very similar. They basically need to get back to Germania, Berlin, and find Hitler and kill him. That's it. But the thing is, once again, it's a road movie, but without the dramatics and the tension of the bike race, it kind of loses traction quite a bit. I must admit, some of the characters do things that make zero sense, okay? And at the same time, Zhao's character I found really reduced. Essentially, she spent the last over a decade being trained to become this badass warrior assassin. But the thing is, who's the human beneath it all? She has to be kind of regain her humanity, and I like the fact that even though she can basically rip your head off, she is woefully naive. She is woefully naive. One thing I also didn't like about this story, just from a narrative telling, is this word here, okay? Because it kept dropping in the word every single goddamn few pages. Scheissner, okay? Alright? Which means fuck. I actually looked that up. It comes in, but this line makes no sense to me. So why was he standing outside his own party, staring through the town window, feeling like Scheisse on a shingle? Shit on a shingle? Does that even make sense? Yeah, that kind of thing. Okay, and also I get that Miss Graudin is kind of going through, like, trying to build tension. Constantly trying to build tension towards the very end, but little things that kind of make no sense too. It's the characters are spoilerific territory again. Zhao and another character whose name I'm not going to mention because it's spoilerific. They break into the concentration camp where Zhao was experimented on first time round, and they don't get stopped. They don't get stopped at all, and I was looking forward to the build-up of the tension, because as a narrative, it's what I felt like it was going. These two women break into the place, okay, where they should never even gone back to at all, to get the information that they need, okay? And then nothing else happens. It's kind of like you're surrounded by armed bastards. Something should have happened at this point, and it didn't. Maybe it was the author trying to be a bit more like realistic in the settings, or maybe it was just kind of like a lax point, really. One thing I did like as well, okay, is the fact that I'm going to call them the citizens, okay, Alright, because a lot of them being presented don't believe in the Nazi ideology, even though they are forced into following the doctrine, is they're also based in ignorance of what went on during the original war. Now, this is actually based in truth. There's some fantastic documentaries of people who lived in the locations surrounding the camps, and after they were liberated, having literally to walk into them and see the dead and the disease and what was left and the remains, and they actually couldn't believe it. They were so blinkered. They thought they were just work camps, and that is actually thrown in as a line in this book too. I believe it's Luca. Luca turns around and says, we just thought they were work camps. They had no idea about the experimentation. Okay? So that is actual truth here. So good for throwing that in. From a narrative point as well, because obviously Zhao is Jewish, and also this ties in quite nicely with, let me just put up the screen, who was Zhao? A website called myjewishlearning.com. Okay? Now this goes in, okay? In the narrative about the military heroine Deborah, Zhao kills Sisera, the Canaanite general of King Yabin, and escapes from the battle of Deborah's generals. So essentially, in Jewish, in the Torah, the story of Zhao is a woman who rose up. Okay, so this kind of ties in quite nicely into Jewish identity and ideology. At the same time, obviously, you know, 100 million people died during the Second World War. Okay, it was a world war for a reason. Okay, everyone was affected. At the same time, I would like to have seen other kind of disenfranchised groups and what happened to them. The gays, or back then the sodomites, as they were called. Okay, yeah, what happened to members of the gay community? So, being actually, the sad thing is pre 1930s, Germany was actually, especially Berlin, it was really, really accepting of gays. Cabaret is actually based on some kind of element of truth. And then obviously, we know what happened next. So what happened to the gay communities, okay? Are they underground, or were they all permanently erased and everyone just suppresses their emotions? Is anyone of Romney heritage, do they find a way to kind of suppress that by intermixing with other nationalities? Okay, that kind of thing I would love to have been explored upon. This is quite a long novel. Okay, it's 481 pages. I would love to have seen a bit more of the exploration of everyone else who was disenfranchised during this time period, if you understand. So Zhao's naivety was really, really jarring at times, especially when it comes to Luca and Felix. Now Luca becomes her love interest, spoiler territory, her love interest. However, there's Felix. Now Felix is the brother of Adele, who obviously Zhao kidnapped to take her place. Felix basically watched her and watched his sister, woman he thought to be his sister, execute the Fuhrer. He's in danger. Adele's in danger. The original Adele's in danger. His family's in danger. And no one's telling him fuck all. Now the thing is, regarding the element of betrayal, okay, or where his sword lies, I understood exactly why he did it. Because at the end of the day, when no one's telling you anything, you can't trust anyone. Okay? I mean, this is a perfect example, in some ways, of the hypocrisy of the resistance and the kind of motivations for Felix being the way he did. We've kept Adele in there for everyone's safety, hers most of all. It's the war zone outside, and she's wearing the face of the girl who shot Hitler. The face you stole. Felix swallowed the accusation back. He mustn't let his rage build up, must let them see. Where is the key? The unlocked door came with conditions. Felix assumed responsibility for his sister. If Adele harmed anyone or damaged anything, both Wolf twins would go into the closet. Understood. When the door swung open, Adele threw an arm in front of her, hissing at the brightness. Both he and his sister both had been born pale creatures, but a month without sunlight had left Adele translucent. The only colour in her hands, when she pummeled raw against the door, where Felix looked above her for a closet light, all he saw was a pull chain, no bulb. They trapped Adele alone in the dark, all this time. There's an example. Now, Adele as a character, you don't really get to know much about her, which I was quite disappointed at. You only really kind of see you through Giles' eyes are other people's eyes, okay? But the thing is more about her life, her motivations. It would have been nice to kind of get a bit more about the actual character of Adele Wolf, okay? At the same time, she did nothing wrong. She's pretty much a total innocent in all this, and it's treated like shit because she is being raised within the Nazi regime, okay? However, the actual resistance didn't sit there and think, a woman who steals her brother's identity to enter into a race, okay, for, you know, for nobility and to prove that she could, okay? There's a bit at the very, very beginning, okay, where this is going back to Wolf by Wolf, which really, really stuck with me. Is when Adele, original, is sitting there saying, I know my life, I'm going to be sent to a breeding camp. My life would be to produce babies full of Führer. I remember reading that and catching the element of frustration in her voice. And I actually thought, you know something? If they got to Adele before this, I reckon she would have joined the resistance by herself. But we never would know, okay? Because of resistance, okay, are so blinkered by who Adele is and who, you know, these young individuals are who growing up within the Nazi doctrine, okay, they never ever thought about them as actual individuals, and therein lies the hypocrisy. Well done, Miss Graudin. Well done. Well done. So, anyway. Well done. So, I'm not going to spoil the ending, but okay, I've got to admit, after the fast-pacedness of Wolf by Wolf, I was a little bit disappointed by Blood by Blood. It could have been an extra third book to kind of build up the world a little bit more. The idea of after the structure of the bike race falls apart, yeah, it could have gone any other direction. Nice little twists and turns. It does go on a little bit long. A few characters are a little bit kind of go against the grain. They become very, very naive. But hey, if Giles finding her humanity, well, as humans we are flawed. So, but no spoilers to her fate. But anyway, I did enjoy this book, and I will kill for this to be a film or a TV show, probably a TV show, because that way it's kind of like The Man in the High Cars. You kind of build up narrative as well. So, TV show would be great. So, sign off here, YouTubers. Thanks for watching this, and goodbye now.